We're inside the 2012 Mitsubishi Outlander GT S-AWC, which is the all-wheel drive SUV. It's mid-size SUV. The sticker on this one is about $35,000 and some change. It features a 3-liter V6 that produces 230 horsepower and 215 pound-feet of torque. And as I pan the camera around, it is rather well appointed. Of course, I got the Sirius satellite radio on right now. It also has onboard navigation. It does feature the handy little Rockford Fosgate sound system, so it's about a 710 watt sound system with a 10-inch subwoofer in the rear panel. And looking around here, we can see the classic Mitsubishi 3-gauge temperature control system, which is also found in many of the Dodge and Chrysler vehicles. As you know, they share many of the same platforms and that kind of stuff. So, well, for that matter, even the steering wheel's somewhat similar to those we see in the Chrysler products, with the button layout and that kind of stuff. This one does also have the paddle shifters for the 6-speed automatic transmission. You don't necessarily have to have the tranny into the manual mode down here at the shifter for that to work. You can actually start using the paddles at any time, and when you get done, you can just hold this up here like that to the off position, and it will turn it off and turn it back into the normal drive mode. There's several pieces of information you can get from this middle screen here. I'm going to scroll through them. There's the average fuel economy, couple different averages. There's the all-wheel drive system. It gives you a display and a readout of what's going on with that. Let me zoom in here a little bit more, and you can see what I'm talking about. And total miles, different trip meters. It's going to tell you how many miles until your next oil change and that kind of stuff. There's your real-time fuel economy, which, since I'm in park, we're not going to get any readings on that. So just basic, fuel and trip information, that kind of stuff. Going back down here, you will notice that there is a dial that Mitsubishi has put in here, and this lets you select the type of terrain that you are on for best all-wheel drive performance. I just keep it on tarmac going around town. Of course, there's also snow, and then you can do an all-wheel drive lock, which will lock and force power to both the front and the rear axles. So kind of nifty. Shifter's pretty straightforward. Just go over here if you want to stay in a manual mode like that, and then of course just up and down, that kind of thing. So nothing too out of the normal there. This one does have the front heated leather seats. There's the control here for you. You can do a high or a low, and a nice stitched dash is pretty well appointed. This particular model also does feature the power sunroof here at the front, and there is a rear DVD player. Here's the screen that pops down for the people in the rear, and there's a remote control for them as well. So overall, pretty nifty. This one would seat 5 people pretty comfortably, with plenty of cargo space in the back. And this one is rated at 19 and 25 miles per gallon respectively. So not exactly the most fuel-friendly vehicles out there, but when you consider the weight and size of this vehicle and the 230 horsepower, it's not too terrible and not completely out of line with what we've seen from other SUVs in its price range and class. So I'm going to go ahead and pop it in drive now, and we'll start taking it down the road, and you guys can get an idea of what's going on here. Maybe hopefully it translates okay into the video. The 230 horsepower, it is not bad. It's pretty adequate for the most part, but it definitely doesn't give you that sensation of pinning you back in the seat like some of the higher horsepower SUVs that I've driven. So you might be with 250 pound-feet of torque. It's not going to have the towing capacity certainly of some of the more powerful alternatives to this car are going to have out there. But that also does come at a fuel saving, or fuel cost rather, in most cases. And so overall, I'm not too miffed about the power considering the fuel economy this car gets. So Mitsubishi equips this car with basic highway tires, definitely not with rugged type of tread to them. So it's not really going to give you the hardcore off-roading ability that you need. However, it is more than adequate for most type of things, like simply going up an old wet dirt road like this, or even certainly going over the mountain passes. You should have no problems without having to chain up. Just keep it in the all-wheel drive mode. So once again, basic light off-road, and you should have no problems. You can see I'm going through these pretty deep potholes here, no problems. Not trying to demonstrate its full off-road capability, but it does certainly have enough ground clearance and again, all-wheel drive ability to handle most chores. Having said that, it primarily will be a pavement princess. Doesn't really have the height nor the suspension to do much more than just moderate off-road stuff, like I said earlier. So anyway, that's not too surprising considering the class of vehicle that this is, and the price range and the demographic that this car is going for. So I think if you're looking for a daily driver comfortable SUV that gets moderate fuel economy, has decent power, not the best, but it's decent, you want to be able to get over the mountain passes and back, then I would definitely give this one a gander. It's definitely going to be in the price range of the likes of the Mazda CX-7, the Ford Edge, and that kind of class of vehicle. So if you're in the market again for a mid-size SUV that does have all-wheel drive, is going to be priced high 20s to mid 30s depending on configuration, engine, and that kind of stuff, then I'd schedule an appointment with your local Mitsubishi dealer and give this one a test drive. It's a solid vehicle, handles pretty well. It's relatively quiet on the freeway at freeway speeds. When I say freeway speeds, I'm talking 65 to 75 miles an hour. It does have moderate freeway noise. It's not horrible. It's not the quietest SUV I've been in for its price category. And having said that, it is quiet enough to be able to have a conversation with the people inside the cabin. So it's not too bad.